everybody, I am Jarrett Ross, the Genie Vlogger, and welcome back to another Professional Genealogist Reacts. On today's video, I will be reacting to DNA Test Is PAPANOMALY My Dad by Anomaly and PAPANOMALY. Now, this is not a channel I'm familiar with. I saw that it has a ton of subscribers and then found out that it's actually a secondary channel for this Anomaly guy, who I guess is a gamer from Sweden and Finland. Looked a bit into him, not too much. Once I saw Swedish and Finnish, I figured I probably know enough to watch the video. So this one is a couple of years old, from January 2019. So actually, I guess it just hit 5 years old not too long ago. So the results are probably going to look a little bit older, and I imagine they've been updated since. And being that he's Northwestern European, I mean Scandinavian Finnish, we're probably going to see Northwestern European readings. Won't be surprised if he gets any sort of British Irish readings, or maybe even French and German or Baltic states, stuff like that. But with the Finnish as well, Finnish is one of those ones where I find a lot of people get pretty good results with Finnish where it specifically comes out Finnish. So it'll be interesting to see what they get. I'll especially be interested to see if they do DNA matches and talk about that, because that's the one thing I'm always hoping everyone talks about with this stuff. So with all that said, let's just jump into the video.
Hello! So Papa,
yes?
Today we're going to take a DNA test with this one. Why are we taking a DNA test?
To find out who's your father is.
It's probably not you.
No, not in a million years.
It's probably the mailman.
Yes, he's a bit suspicious.
So Papa,
yeah.
First of all, what do we know about our DNA? Well, I think we are white, and other than that, Papa, I know my mom, she is half Finland, so she is the very Vittu.
Yes.
And other than that, Papa, you are just Sweden, right?
Yes.
And I am half Sweden, then I guess. Okay, here we go. Hello, Christer.
Hello.
I do want to see...
Where did they come from? Cotton Eye Joe. Okay.
There we go. Matches 110 fourth cousins or closer. So definitely a lot smaller, which makes sense because Ancestry DNA is not a company that I've found a lot of people living in Europe take. Most people that are living in Europe that take Ancestry are people that are living in Ireland or Britain or Scotland, which I guess technically even then depends on your definition of are they actually in Europe, because I know apparently that's a thing. Here, I mean, 110 fourth cousins or closer, that's super, super low. But I'd be really curious to see if maybe they have a lot of closer relatives as well.
Here we go. Hello, Christer.
Hello.
Hello. I can already see DNA story, Papa.
Yeah.
Ethnicity estimate, 90% Scandinavia.
Yes.
4 other regions, Papa.
Okay.
Maybe grandma thought.
Yes.
Okay, are you ready? Discover your DNA story?
Yes.
Retrieving estimate.
So wait, was this is the father that we're looking at?
Maybe I'm...
Your results are up to date. Your DNA doesn't change, but the science we use to analyze does. Okay. Wait, what the fuck? Papa?
Yeah?
You are 90% Scandinavia.
Yeah.
You are southern Sweden, Papa. You are 0% Maltese, Papa. What the fuck? Why are you here? Out of my house! Low confidence regions.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, you're 3% Great Britain, Papa.
Yeah, so low confidence regions were just basically, these are our trace results. And notice how I always say in a lot of videos, yeah, trace results just mean low confidence. Well, here, you can see that. Low confidence regions. Now, this is a 5-6-year-old video, like I said. I guess it's just 5 years old at this point. So at this point in time, 2%, 1% is often the kind of low confidence regions now. I don't know how Ancestry defines it, if they've changed that at all. Basically, you know, 3%, that's not too bad, but it'd be interesting to see now that time has passed and things have updated, what are their results now, because it may just be 100% Swedish now. Basically, they just share a lot of DNA between people that live in Scandinavia and elsewhere in the Northwestern European world. Being that this, I think this is for the father, so they weren't expecting any Finnish results, but obviously, you know, with it being so close to Sweden, not surprising to get any. So interesting, but let's continue.
Okay.
3% Europe West. Germany, 3% Finland.
Kiitos.
You are Europe East, Papa. Less than 1%.
Okay.
You're just Sweden. That's fucking so boring, Papa. Is that it? Do we pay like $100 for it?
No, that's just the least useful part. The best part's the DNA matches and the building your trees and expanding that stuff.
View your ethnicity story over time. This is just Swedish history.
I know my grandfather's brother went to US, but he died pretty quick.
Why?
Spanish flu.
But he's Swedish.
Yes, but he went over there to...
Get the Spanish flu?
Yeah.
Is that it? What the fuck? We spent so much money on this.
DNA matches!
Shit, dude, what the fuck? View DNA matches. Parent-child.
There we go. So we're getting some DNA matches, and not too bad. This was before they showed you what the centimorgan shared was with the people. So centimorgans that's just a measurement of shared DNA. So, you know, they say, you know, how much DNA do you share between these two people? You say it in centimorgans. So a parent-child relationship would be like 3,500 something centimorgans, or however much it is. Each site's different in a sense, but, you know, basically they're testing about 600 to 700,000 markers they call SNPs, single nucleotide polymorphisms. And so, you know, a parent, you would share half of that with them. And so you get the 3,000. But like in terms of this cousin, Sharon Robinson, where it says first to second cousins, I don't know how many centimorgans he shares with her, but at a first to second cousin possible range, I'm guessing it's probably like 300, 400 centimorgans, maybe all the way up to like 800 centimorgans or something. And then this other one down here, this third cousin, Scott Hunter, managed by Sharon Robinson. I wouldn't be surprised if that's her son or something, because, you know, not too uncommon. And being a third or fourth cousin, you know, more distant, shares less DNA if Sharon is the mother. So actually kind of cool to start seeing some matches. And I guess that's him, or, you know, this is his father's result. So this is him as a
Ludwig. Confidence extremely high. I'm not extremely confident in that, Papa.
No,
I don't think you're my dad. How many cousins?
Okay, yeah, and so and in all these cousins, I mean, right now he's looking at fourth to sixth cousin ranges, which means that it's probably matches well under 100 centimorgans. But when you're dealing with matches that are under 50 centimorgans, there's a very low confidence of how good they are. And at this time, you can see how Ancestry had a confidence bar, and you can see for all of these fourth to sixth cousins, the confidence isn't high like it was before, it's just good. And the reason for that is because as you start to look at matches that are much lower centimorgans, the confidence gets lower. Just like when you're looking at your admixture percentages, when you're looking at 2%, 1%, less than 1%, your confidence drops greatly because there's a higher possibility that it's just a false positive. So same thing with matches. And once you get down to matches where you're only sharing, you know, 1 10 centimorgan segments or something like that, the confidence that that segment's a true segment that they share from sharing Ancestry is very low, because the way they break it down is there's identical by descent, meaning your DNA is identical in a certain place because you descend from the same ancestors. But then there's also identical by chance, meaning that your DNA is the same with somebody because of the chance that it is. So not that you descend from shared ancestry, but chance meaning the errors in reading these DNA tests, because they're reading 600 to 700,000 markers on your DNA. They're looking at all of those markers, and there's a 1% margin of error, meaning that 6,000 to 7,000 places on the DNA, there's misreads. And then after they get that profile, which has that 1% margin of error and misread, then that gets put through further systems to figure out the cousins, figure out the admixtures, all that stuff. And those systems have their own error rates. So by the time you get to the end, there is a possibility of false positives, but the lower that you get in certain things, the higher that false positive possibility goes up, and the lower your confidence that it is a true match, that goes down.
Well, this is a fucking scam.
Well, I'm Scandinavian, that's a
Scam.
This video is just really disappointing so far. Like throughout the whole thing, I've just been like, I guess I can see why I'm not familiar with this channel, and I probably not a channel I'd be that interested in following.
Scandinavian. Yeah. So now we're logged into me, Papa. It says DNA story 36%, 35%. Okay, Papa, are you ready?
Yeah.
Discover your DNA. Retrieving estimates, Papa. I hope I'm a very, what's it called? Exotic guy.
Yeah.
I'm 36% Scandinavia, 35% Finland, and 27% Europe West. Primarily located in Belgium, but no, that's...
And so you can see this is exactly what's happening right here, is that a lot of what his mom and dad's DNA is coming together in him, the system's having a hard time deciphering it and lumping it more Europe West than Scandinavia. Or Finland, or what, you know. Based on what he said, the Finland reading seems a bit higher than what we would expect, because he mentioned a grandparent of Finnish ancestry, so we'd expect about 25%. And with his dad getting about 3%, you know, we wouldn't expect that high of a reading still. Granted, recombination is random, and so it certainly isn't out of the realm of possibilities that is a more realistic percentage. But my guess is that some of the Scandinavian may be getting lumped in to that. Even more, I'm guessing a lot of the Scandinavian is getting lumped into that Europe West.
Fucking wrong. What did you say? Probably Netherlands, but I'm 27%, Papa.
No,
That's so much.
Yeah.
I thought I was half Sweden, half Finland, but like this, but now I'm fucking third 40% Sweden, 35% Finland, and then 30% over here. What the fuck? So that means from my mom's side, my grandpa or my grandma has to be from over here. What the fuck?
No, it doesn't mean that. When you're talking Europe West, I mean, look at how large that circle is. And in all honesty, it's probably should be even larger. But the main thing is that, you know, it's not putting in a lot of Scandinavia into that. You know, you're just barely getting into Denmark. I mean, you know, just the southern areas of Denmark, in all honesty. And so it makes sense that it'd be confusing of like, well, you know, so grandparent must have come from there. But really, I think what it is this Europe West is just a difficulty in deciphering that Scandinavian. And a big part of that is probably just because at that time, I don't think Ancestry had phasing capabilities. And when you're looking at DNA, one of the errors that occurs is that, you know, every spot of your DNA, there's two alleles, there's two letters. Remember, there's base pairs, you know, A, T, C, or G. And so at each spot, there's an AA or a TT or a CC or a GG or an AT or a TA or a CG or G, whatever it is. But the thing is of those two letters, one came from mom, one came from dad, but they never know quite which one came from who. So when you have unphased DNA, they can sometimes take DNA markers from mom and DNA markers from dad and come up with a segment. So they have to figure out the segment somehow. And so sometimes they come up with incorrect segments because they're like, oh, well, that looks like that's the right segment. And they think, okay, well, that's not stuff coming from mom and stuff coming from dad and, you know, coming together. They don't think that. They just think, oh, that's all coming from one parent. So when you phase, which some of these sites have the capability, and I believe Ancestry does now, which just means that you have one of your parents' tests and now they can figure out, oh, okay, this letter comes from mom or this letter comes from dad. So then they can go, oh yeah, that unphased misread we had, that is a misread, and really it's this other thing.
How? My grandpa and grandma, they are Finland.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So is it both of his parents or both of his maternal grandparents were from Finland? Or, I mean, I will say, I mean, the humor that they have in this video is not really much my humor, and just, I don't know. So it's been kind of hard to tell, you know, what's serious and what's not, because that's kind of the humor is, you know, hey, look at how goofy and not give a fuck we are, but it's not really funny in my opinion. And it's just more confusing in trying to analyze this because I don't know, you know, is it one grandparent that's from Finland or is it both?
Southern Sweden. Finland. Why does it say Finland, a peasant's life? What the fuck? Fuck off! In the early 1800s, Finland went from Swedish rule to Russian control. However, life for peasants, the majority of the population, remained the same. I'm a Finnish peasant. It's like, look, southern Sweden, and it's like, yeah, we're moving to United States, and it's like Finland, my Finland part, the Great Hunger for years. I'm a peasant who's starving, Papa. You know how your DNA result, Papa, was like just nice and it was like very good, and we're gonna move to America. It was very nice.
Yeah.
Look at me, Papa. a peasant's life, the great hunger for years, and then fleeing the Russian takeover. Scandinavia is 4 to 65%. So they're like pretty certain I'm from Scandinavia. Europe West is 0 to 54%. So they're pretty certain I'm a little bit from there. And then Finland is 27 to 42%. So I'm very Finland. Nice. DNA matches maybe. Yeah, here's my dad.
Yeah, extremely high.
Yes, you are my dad.
Yeah. And let's actually go back a bit. So, oh, did it fully load there?
Yeah.
So, yeah, so there's that Sharon Robinson again. And remember, for the dad, first to second cousins. Now for this son, second to third cousins. And then that other match that was below that was managed by Sharon, no longer there. Probably because he shares even less DNA, and you know, that guy's further down in the list. And my guess is this Kathleen Derzius is possibly from, well, I guess we didn't see enough of the dad's match list, but I was going to say it's possible that it's from the mom's side if it's higher amount of DNA than what the second top match was for his dad, technically. So, all right, let's continue.
Here's my dad.
Yeah, extremely high.
Yes, you are my dad. It's proven
You're the
now.
second cousin. That's better than the fourth.
Yeah, you also had her as second cousin.
I did? Ah, yes.
Fucking autist. Papa,
Yeah?
it's proven that you're my dad.
Yes.
I'm very disappointed. Who the fuck is this? Let me write. Can I send a message?
No.
You are my second cousin. Hello. Please send me food. I am the starve. I hope you're not a Russian chasing me. Cheers, a starving peasant. Send. Your message has been sent.
He actually sent it. This video is just like, this is so not my speed. Just not my humor. But yeah, I mean, this is just...
Now I know at least, Papa, why whenever I go matchmaking, there are so many Russians trying to team kill me.
Yeah, I think it's time to feed your cows now. Yes?
All right, well, that was certainly a video. Did not enjoy it at all. It's kind of funny. This one and the last one I did a reaction to, which was the Gloom video, those are two videos that have been on my watch later list for the longest time. And for some reason, every time I come up to them, I'm just like, nah, I'll do this other one. No, I'll do this other one. And then today I just was like, okay, let me do both of these. And I did both of them. And both of them were kind of, the Gloom one wasn't quite as disappointing as this one. But this one is just like, it's just, I don't know. I didn't find the humor funny at all. I mean, I get it, kinda, but it, you know, I don't want it. In terms of the results, I mean, you know, nothing too crazy from what they said. And funny enough, for a video that I really disliked a lot, it was one of the few that actually showed DNA matches. I'm certainly curious about the cousin that they messaged, and I mean, she had multiple kits, which usually is an indication of someone who probably is doing actual genealogy, and so her seeing them as matches was probably great, and then getting that message was probably super confusing. I don't know if they would have put any trees. You know, you can connect your tree to your DNA matches, or to your DNA profile to help with deciphering your DNA matches. If they did that, then she may have figured out how they're related, but if not, they probably didn't know, and she probably was left more confused than anything else. Granted, it may have been a cousin that they actually knew, because listed as a first to second cousin to the, you know, to the father, presumably she would be about a first to second cousin. I don't know how well people in Sweden know their distant cousins, but at least in the US and Britain and a lot of places where, you know, I'm in touch with people, it does seem that, you know, it's not uncommon to know second cousins, but it's not uncommon to also not know second cousins. I guess it could fall either way. And as well, being that this video is 5 years old, I'm sure their results have updated and changed. So definitely not not a video that I enjoyed, but hopefully you all enjoyed it and actually got some sort of decent information out of this. And if you'd like to see more DNA reactions just like this one, be sure to check out this video right here. Thank you to my Patreon patrons and YouTube members.